Governor, on that point of extending
That's good.
on the point of extending the taxes with a 2/3 vote until you get an election, does that break your pledge at all? Because you told the voters that there would not be a tax increase without a vote. As of July 1st, that would become a tax
conundrum. So what do I do? What do we do? The Republicans wanted this. This is a Republican plan officially modifying what I said a year ago. It's a Republican amendment, and I have to accept it. It's part of the negotiation. It's give and take in this business.
Do you think the good news on revenue?
Otherwise, you let the Republicans block all tax extensions. So this, to me, keeps the spirit, because there are no taxes without a vote of the people, because there will be a vote of the people. Or there won't be taxes and there won't be a vote. So they are literally, I'm not being too Jesuitical here, this is a program of taxes with a vote of the people. Or let me put it this way. I said no taxes without a vote of the people.
Do you think the good news on revenues makes that sales pitch more difficult, eliminates some of the
Not in the Republicans that I've spoken to in the last 24 hours.
What about among voters, though, trying to sell it to voters?
Well, we've done recent surveys, and it's substantially ahead. Among the people, if you ask people, are you paying, is this something you're paying attention to? Of the subset of those who are giving this real attention, the margin, the opposition to the tax extensions has not gotten out of the low 30s. So I think there's a very good chance, and those who say it can't win don't understand it. They don't think they see the survey data. And secondly, the idea, hey, we're going to tax you whether you like it or not, is not my program.
But those surveys were taken before all this good news. $6.6 billion, that's a lot of money.
No, we took the survey last week, assuming it's $6 billion. I've already surveyed that. Yes, what?
You want to release that one, too?
We might give you a few numbers, yeah. It's not my poll. Somebody else did it, and I got to see it. Yeah.
Support having a spending limit.
Harman, weren't you going to ask a question? I diverted you once before.
Okay, I just want to get this straight. You are taking income taxes off the table.
What?
Income taxes are off the table?
No, just for 1 year.
For 1 year?
Just the income tax part. Everything else stays.
But are you negotiating against yourself by taking that off the table for a year?
Well, I'm negotiating against myself when I describe the pension reforms and then say, how about it? A lot of this is, hey, what do you think? And it's coming from my side. But I think as we get closer and we've had enough time to talk about it, we're going to start getting some good give and take.
So the tax plan is the same from January, other than the
this year's,
income tax is off the table.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. Okay.
Yeah.
In that vein, you said you're open to a spending limit. What else would you be willing to?
Well, now that would be negotiating against myself. I would say more than one thing, but less than 53. All right. What? Do I regret?
The taxes in a
What?
couple ways.
Say what?
Sweeten the pot on the taxes.
Yeah.
A couple
Two
ways
ways.
with the single sales factor, and enterprise zone changes too.
Yeah.
How much support from Republicans are you hoping to buy with that?
We'll see.
Or are you
You never know what moves people. This is really to make the plan better by encouraging the manufacturing
Could you have
sector.
done that without the additional revenues,
What?
or is it really because of the additional revenues that you're able to offer those?
Well, it's a modification of the single sales. Instead of getting the whole billion, we use some of it to provide other tax incentives for business.
Governor, tactically, you kind of regret.
And by the way, it's not so much Republicans. You're saying to business, look, very few companies benefit from the single sales. Why not join with me, eliminate it, and we'll pour back a significant amount that will benefit you California companies. Yes.
Tactically, do you regret enacting the cuts, the original 13.6, whatever it was, as early as you did? Would you have more leverage now with that still hanging
the
over
cuts,
your head?
Look, it's almost a miracle we got those cuts, and I think it's very solid. Those are the most significant reductions in government probably in the last decade that are ongoing and real.
Governor, if you don't get the tax extensions, you're going to have to squeeze a lot of savings in a short period of time. How are you going to do that? You're setting up schools and everybody else to really have to cut the last 4 months.
That'll be part of the plan. And that'll be, first of all, part of the discussion with the Republicans, how to do this. And I think it'd be premature to lay it out. We understand the problems of schools. And there would have to be some phase out if there was a defeat of the tax measure.
Governor,
But I don't think it's going to be defeated.
What changed your mind about enterprise zones? Why not eliminate them entirely as under the first proposal?
Don't see the votes there.
Nothing about the program that convinced you?
No. Well, look, there's always many ways to see these things. This is not, dogmatics. This is different emphases, different points of view, and I think we can, to justify the enterprise zone, we ought to limit it to new jobs, not somebody who does something and then some consultant comes along and say, hey, look, if you pay me some money, I'll find you some money, like unclaimed property.
But you no doubt know that people who oppose your redevelopment plan would say the same thing. They're not the votes there for that.
Right, but the Republicans have now joined in. So the Republicans now want to in their plan, they want to get rid of redevelopment, which is interesting because when I was begging them to give me a vote, they said they can't do it.
They actually want to modify it. They want the Redevelopment Association's proposal, too. That's one of their ideas.
No,
CRA proposal.
No.
Both options in it in recognition of...
Well, you can't. You have to get rid of it because of the change in the Constitution, and then you can bring some of it back. That's all. By the way, this is up for discussion. I've given you the blueprint, and now, the other architects will start to screw it up.
Do you have a reason to think that there are votes for redevelopment, though? Because beyond the Republicans putting it in their proposal, they've said that they don't know that the votes.
We've always thought, or I might say, she always thought, that there are Republican votes for redevelopment because of the condemnation provision. But there are some Democrats who have strayed from the reservation. So it would take more Republicans to get it done.
Governor, what was the reason for getting rid of the income tax surcharge in 2011?
Just to
was it
share a little bit of the wealth.
But you're asking voters, you're telling voters we need more money, but at the same time you're saying we need to share the wealth. I mean, what?
Well, at what level? I mean, this is a matter of judgment. I thought it was reasonable. There's another reason that these taxes haven't been withheld this year. So it was always going to be a hurdle, and to eliminate that, I think, would be a positive for the election. All right, I think we're one more. Okay.
How confident are you that we could have a budget by June 15th? As you know, this year will be the first time we'll be deducting the lawmakers' pay for every time that it's late, for every day that's late, sorry.
I'd say that's a very fine incentive that we're now going to be operating under. So I think that really, that could be the equalizer to get it all done. I think we will get it done. We may even get it done sooner. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor.